I'm Caramel. Hey, best friend.
Hey, best friend, how are you?
I'm doing well. I know you were listening to my bingle jangle jingle. Listen,
Okay.
it's one of my vanities. I don't do much in the way of clothes, but I wear my vanity. Is that crazy?
No, the crazy part, see, you guys, she's telling you in a real, nonchalant way, oh, it's vanity, my bangles, and so forth. But see, the thing of it is, she's cheap as all get out, or shall I say, frugal. And
Frugal.
these bangles are not frugal. They are very expensive bangles. And so for somebody who says something about 25 cents to have about $500,000 worth of bangles on her arm, that's the fun. That's the fun of
It
it.
is not a $500,000 worth of bangles, but I will say that you could buy probably a small car. But I don't. That's not a flex. That's
Half a million, small car, same thing. Okay, there you go, same
But
thing.
it's one of those things. Like I don't buy much clothes. I don't spend much on shoes or anything, but I do spend quite. I have gold fever, is what I would call that. I really do. I've always had gold fever, so it is what it is. But look,
But like, let's talk about that because that brings up a really good topic. And I know we're going in a whole nother direction, but just saying that as an entrepreneur,
mhm,
do you feel that you have become more extravagant or less extravagant in how you move and operate in your personal life? Because I know your business, Women Travel Abroad, is ease, comfort, and style.
it is
So everything is 4-star, 5-star.
right.
But how has that gone over into your personal life?
That's a good question that you're asking, and that I think that is something that we can talk about. I think for me, ease, comfort, and style came with a certain level of travel uh, luxury. I will say that we're leaning more toward experiential travel these days because luxury is to me is not a great word in the time of debt ceilings and money that's going bad and people
Right.
were right. That's not a good thing to say. But when you say experiential, it gives a feeling of, oh, this is an experience that I'm willing to pay for, as opposed to luxury when it's kind of
But in your personal life, have you adopted ease, comfort, and style? See, you heard her go all around I don't know what she talking about, the experiential in her
yes.
business. I asked you, you spend more money now or not?
It's translated in a way that I do spend just a little bit more money, Shell. It's I lean into the comfort that I need to keep my energy up when I'm traveling. It is not the easiest to travel, 6, 7 hours by plane, sometimes up to 15 hours by plane. So I do lean into a little bit more of the um,
Business class as
business
opposed
class.
to
Correct. I lean into lounge access. I've been telling people, I've been screaming to the top of my lungs that even to my host and host assistants, look into lounge access when you are traveling. Those lounges will change your life because you're not spending a bunch of money on food.
let me tell you the thing that changed my life. I'm just going to be on and I believe, I have a different relationship with money.
Yeah,
Money is a
agreed.
tool. You always can make some more. That's just how I
Right.
feel about it. Just simple as that. And so I've always had housekeeping, but you becomes a whole process. So made me really, really spoiled and really bad because they called me and they said, hey, all you have to do is put everything on the American Express card and you'll start earning points.
Mhm.
Well, we have a lot of bills that come through the agency. I got employees and bills
Mhm.
and all that kind of. So I started running everything through. So we accrue a lot of points quickly.
Mhm.
So then
Mhm.
I started flying with those points and taking trips and going first class,
Mhm.
which got me access to the lounges.
Mhm.
And so now,
Yeah.
now for some reason, I don't even understand flying on a plane and having. And I look at the price of the tickets;
Mhm.
it's like thousands of dollars
Mhm.
different.
Yeah,
And
from
I go,
using points is what you're saying, though. Let's qualify what this is. And so this is just using the perks and benefits of being a business owner and being able to funnel your stuff through something that just everyone doesn't have access to. So you're rewarded by using your that credit card by and paying whatever fees that you may pay or not pay. What's perceived to
well,
be
see, that's the point. I don't have any fees. So I put like utility bills, everything on it.
sure,
And so I pay it off every month. So there is no fee. There's just now there is an annual fee.
sure.
And the annual fee, if I was just using it like regular, it would be a lot for annual fee. But for the trips and the stuff that I can go, and I don't know if I travel more because I
Oh,
got the
absolutely.
points.
Well, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you you do. I no, there's no I know you and have known you before, pre-business and after business, and I know exactly that you were absolutely now we've always gone somewhere. Once a year, we usually take a trip and go somewhere. But now, girl, you are doing probably three or four trips a year, which is
Big for me.
it is.
That really is big. And I do agree that it's because of the business. And it's not that I'm making a lot of money
Not
in
at
the
all.
business. It's literally because of these points. And I'm sitting on like probably 192,000 right now. And they're burning a hole in my pocket. And so I started thinking about it. And so then I'm like, you know, you know, so is that different? So having the business made me travel more because I've always won trips, from being when you're in sales. And so usually sales, that you can win trips.
Mhm.
And so I'm like,
Well,
I
let
just
me say
wonder.
this. You because what the points have done, and again, this goes back to when you asked me if I use a little bit more, I'm leaning a little bit more ease, comfort, and style in my personal life. Yeah, I can admit that I do. And I do that because there are just certain things that come with the job that require. One of the young ladies when I was in Bali, she explained that when she takes a job, they have to upgrade her to business class, and they also have to put her up in a five-star hotel, and she builds into her price her massage that she needs because the subject that she speaks on is always heavy. She's a diversity, equity, and inclusion speaker. So because that's such a heavy topic for people, she needs that me time, and that massage matters.
Look, okay, I
But
need some me time. But you know what? I will tell you this. My operations manager, who also slash is my husband, who joined the business, we have it where every 2 weeks he gets a massage. He
yeah,
goes and gets a massage every 2 weeks, and that is a part of his plan. His comp plan
yep.
is to be able to go and do that because he took a pay cut to come and work with the company. So a part of his comp plan is, and you laugh about it, but that's the truth.
Oh
And I
yeah.
started thinking to myself, huh. And so before, when he worked somewhere else, he wasn't going every 2 weeks to get a massage. He would go periodically, but now
Well,
it's every 2 weeks. And I thought,
I
we
think that's
are,
what business ownership does. I think in business ownership, what it does is it allows you to think a little bit more clearly about what really matters and what you need, as opposed to someone giving you money for the work that you're doing. And now it's like you covet this money to go do another thing. No, this is part of my actual life now.
and I also think about like a salary and
Mhm,
like, 'cause I don't draw a salary from the business. You know what I
mhm,
mean? I just take a draw, or, I put money in as equity and everything.
mhm,
So that's just so Garner, he does pull a salary. My operations manager does take a salary.
mhm.
And because that was important to him. And I was
Yep.
like, that's not important to me as long as it can pay for my lifestyle and the things that I want to do. And it's not a lot that I do, but I just realize every now and then I'll go shopping and I'll drop a little bit of money, and I go, is it different than I was pre-business, or is this, you
Now,
know,
on that respect, let's talk about that, because on that respect, you were always the one to go and spend that money. I remember those runs to your favorite store to pick up some 2 and 3 and 4.
ROSS, what it means to me?
And so I know that you did that, but what I'll say is the elevation part and what you're using and leaning into is the idea that I can mm, that access gives you less anxiety surrounding, because you've never been big about the money, but it just gives you less anxiety surrounding what travel actually meant. I think it made it
Yeah, and
easier.
that in travel, and then I look at the house and buying things for the house. We
Mhm.
remodeled the house,
Yeah.
and we're getting the deck furniture, some deck. We did this nice deck, and so we ordered some furniture and everything, kind of
Mhm.
completing that up. And I said the thought process is just very different now. And I wonder if other entrepreneurs are feeling that, like in their business, like say you're a restaurant and the type
Mhm.
of food, the level of food, the quality of the food. Whereas before you may have just gone and bought it from here, but now it's got to be the freshest of the fresh. Do you think that happens when you're having the clothes that you make, or because you have such level of quality in your business? that translates into your personal life.
I remember someone told me, "You can't be driving a Nissan Versa when you go into these different meetups." And I said, "Why?" Showing them I'm spending more money on my travel than I spend on my car. I'm out of the country quite often. Did I need a car? Now, I will say that I waited till the business got some traction and had a little bit more money in order to buy the car that I wanted. And so, I drive my little Tessie now, right? Let me tell you, I don't think I would have ever bought the Tesla had I not started the business and learned how to invest.
Mm.
I don't think, because I drove a Nissan Versa for the sheer will that I'm not ready to have the big car yet because I don't have the big company, right? And so it
Mm.
took 5 years when I bought the Tesla, but let me tell you, now it has changed, it revolutionized the way that I think about riding in a car. I don't put gas in a car. I haven't put gas in a car since I had the Tesla back in November. As a matter of fact, I
Mhm.
was upset that McCoy, my husband, left me the truck and drove the Tessie one day, and I had to put gas in it. I thought I was gonna lose my mind.
Exactly. It's like, what in the world putting
And
some
so look,
gas?
I brought Elena with me, my daughter, and said, "Look, go put some gas in this truck," because I refuse. Do you understand me? Because I've gotten so used to, like, I don't ever want to go back to the gas tank. So now I know that, well, I have to do, like you said, make enough money, can make more money to make sure that I can drive this car.
And it's important to also think about what are your values and what's important to you. Because
Right.
I'm thinking about, you know, now I have seen a car that I like, but I don't think I will ever buy it.
Okay.
There's a gentleman in town and he has this Mercedes AMG beast of a SUV that every time I see him, I sit in the car. I said, as you know what it is, I want to come sit in your car. And I sit in the car and I like it. But I don't think I would buy that. That's not something that I don't know what it is. It's funny to me what you choose this. Like I said, I've always spent money on services.
Uh-huh.
That's what the ease and comfort of my life. Like
Uh-huh.
housekeeping, like I'm looking for a housekeeper again, still looking for that to happen. Also looking for just things of that nature to make my life easier.
Mhm.
A chef to come and prepare food, or somebody to take my clothes to the cleaners, or somebody to
Mhm.
come in and be my
Mhm.
personal assistant. Those are things that but as far as the material, like we remodeled our house because we couldn't find something. And then when I say couldn't find, I mean, I'm sure we could have found if we looked hard enough.
Mhm.
But for the money and what we actually needed, I didn't need a lot of space. I just
Mhm.
needed, the little kitchen. My favorite part of the house is the kitchen and
Yeah,
my
you
gas.
built your dream kitchen in the house that you loved already, and I
Right.
think that that's what I'm saying. I saw a Facebook video where the young man was saying, people expect when you make a certain amount of money, 30, $40,000 a month, that now you go buy the fancy car and the fancy clothes and the fancy this. He says, "Yeah, I bought me a apartment, then I bought a
Oh,
car." He said, "But then." It wasn't really much else that I wanted to buy. So then it became, well, what do I do more with my money? Well, let me invest in
I saw
something.
that. Did you send that to me? The meme where the young man, they said, who would park a Rolls Royce outside of an apartment complex?
Right,
And
right.
so people were all upset. And he was like, yeah, because I own the apartment complex. Oh, so now it's a
Way
whole,
to flex, right.
yeah,
Now here's the point on that. I think you brought up a valid point in saying that it depends on what you value, right? So I don't value clothes, but I love my gold bangles. I
right.
don't value cars, but I love the fact that I don't have to put gas in it when I do drive it. Like, now I know that, because the car didn't matter to me, but it now having that. So I think it also comes down to, like, right now, the last thing that I did, my big, every year I come up with a list of things that I need to have done in my personal life and how to pay for that and where the money's going to come from. One of the big things for me this year was the hardwoods in my house. We had carpet in each of the bedrooms, and I hated the carpet. The dog was being trained and it didn't get trained in time. So I basically
I
lived.
don't know. Was it true? You always trained it to pee on the carpet, right? Because
Right. So I had to, I mean, I literally went through all those changes I did not like that carpet. So finally this week we pulled all the carpet out, and I want to tell you that I am in love with my hardwoods, and now my house feels complete, right?
hmm
It
hmm
feels like, okay, this, I had redone, one of them was redone, we did my closet, got it done. Now I got the hardwood. So there's really not much in this house that I need to fix anymore. And I feel comfortable. So
Now,
now I don't,
a side note, guys, this was a brand new house. I just want to let you guys know it was a
don't get me
brand new
started.
house.
We bought
So I just,
a brand new puppy pad. That's what we have, a brand new puppy, a grandiose puppy pad, child. And so I think what we're talking about is important because people often think that, and I want to say this too. I started for the past 4 years, I've been doing draws. But this last 6 months from January 1 to now, I've been taking a salary. And now I've been thinking seriously, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I think I'm going to take back my salary back out, and I'm going to start taking draws again. I think that it's a better way for me to do business. I know there's pros and cons of each
Well, there's
side.
schools of law on it, and so but for me, I don't. I don't care. I just don't care. And so, what I'm just looking at is, as a business owner, I think it's
Mhm.
really important that your business, like because we've had shows where we talk, we ain't making no money, we're losing
Right,
money every time we
right.
get on here, we complaining and da, 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 da. But I also wanted to talk about how I'm living, though,
Oh,
me
sure.
as my personal life and how I'm living. I don't think it could be any better, you know what I mean? Like, I
100%. I will say this, and I've said this, a very strong statement, and I don't begrudge anyone who's working a full-time job, but I've built in enough in this business that I don't ever want to have to go work for anyone else again.
Yeah, I don't know if I could,
Well,
and because I wasn't a good worker in the first place. Like,
you are absolutely a good worker. Stop.
what I mean by that is that I was a great person in terms of work and production and getting things done and reaching your numbers, and great to have. But I always wanted to do more. Always was
Sure.
looking for the next opportunity, and so to have that, I'm pushing the person in front of me, and that can be a lot.
Yeah,
So to go back there now, having been the boss, making the decisions,
sure.
like that's, you pay the cost to be the boss. I like making
100%.
the decision. And so last night we were at the house and we were just sitting, and I looked over at Garner and I said, "Hey, we're at the house and we're just chilling." Like, there was no stress, there was nothing we had. We were just he was on the computer at the counter because we're in the kitchen, y'all.
And you're
I'm
luxurious. Listen, let me tell you about her kitchen. She got this island that's 1,000 feet long, and it got these chairs,
y'all,
and she
let me
got these
let me
special forks that you got to use at her house, and you got to make sure that you
listen.
put her. So what?
Let me tell y'all something. This, don't imagine it to be. It's a regular house. It ain't no Oprah long. It's like regular.
I'm
It's
not saying that it's Oprah House. I'm just saying
but
that you
what I'm
got a
saying
little
is, it's
beautiful
like
kitchen.
people might get the impression, and I want to bring your impression back down to, like, because then you see the pictures and you like, she excited about that little old kitchen.
But you know what? Let's talk about that. That is what you value. To your
Mhm.
point, you could absolutely go get the big old house and the big, but that's not what you wanted.
Before the money, because see, right now I'm 5 minutes away. My house is 5 minutes away from the business. That right there in itself is
Is a
like,
lot.
okay. Then our other business, we're probably like 8 minutes away from that business, and then our other office, we're like 45 minutes away. That's in another city. So that's the
Well,
dynamics.
there is statistics that says that when a business owner who lives more than 5 years away from their business is 60% more likely to fail at business than
Five
if they
years or 5 minutes,
five. No, I'm talking 5 miles.
5 miles.
So a
Okay, you
business
said
owner
five
who lives
years.
more than 5 miles from their business is 60% more likely to fail in business because they're so far. That
Get
needs
out of
to,
here.
yes, that is a statistic.
Oh.
Living within 5 mile radius of your business, it helps, right? Because you don't, it's not a struggle to get there.
Absolutely. And I was telling somebody, it was so funny because after being in business 5 years, so when I first opened, I used to
Mhm.
be, Garner wasn't in the business. So I used to be there all the time.
Right.
7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. He'd come by and he'd be like, "Hey, you need to come on. It's time to come
Right.
on to the house. What he's doing, what's
Right.
going on." And so I was like, "Hey, so now he's in the business. He's been there a year. So at 5:30, I'm out. I get my
Mhm.
purse, my clothes. I don't care if the people who work with me are not ready to leave. 5:30, I'm out, okay?
Mhm.
Because I already feel like I done stayed way longer than I should have been staying anyway.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Mhm.
so Gordon's sitting there and he's looking, and he'll work late and he'll come in, and I just look at him and said, "Hey, I paid my dues, brother. I've done my part." So that's what I'm because I want to count my blessings, because so many times we talk about the business and we talk about the hard sides, the downsides, but I did want to speak about, and I wonder if other entrepreneurs feel that way, that their life outside of the business,
Mhm.
because when you go places, how people receive you,
Mhm.
the respect that people receive you as having a successful business, as what they know and perceive it to be, just you're being able to talk to other people and share knowledge about what you, because I do have a wealth of knowledge. If you tell me a situation, I can help you with it, and we both mentored some stuff today. You were
Yeah.
telling me.
Yeah, I think that as I'm looking at, thinking about the value, 'cause you see that stupid fly, get away, fly.
Shoot, fly, shoot.
That daggone Elias, my son, he'll just let the door open because, he all outdoors is terrible.
He was
Anyway,
raised in a barn. He just grew up in a barn.
right.
So
But I think to your point, it's good that you brought it up because I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, understanding that I'm able to do more and say more and be in more places, in places that I want to be because of the business. And I love it. I don't want to go back. And I think that too often we'll talk about how awful the work is or the grind is. And you're right. Complain or maybe kind of, not to say that that doesn't mean we still put the work in, right, and do the work.
oh,
But
absolutely,
it feels
absolutely.
good to be able to say, as I look around, "Ooh, I got my hardwoods," and, "Ooh, I feel," and you do feel safe.
And you can make the moves that you want to make, and
Sure.
it gets tough, and I really do admit, but that's what I hold on to, that
Mhm.
I am able to do this. Like when it gets tough and I come home and we remodeled the entire house, we gutted our house and remodeled it, and everything is done and it's just like I want it to be. And the washing machine went out, and then we said, okay, we need to get another washing machine. Well, we might as well get the new dryer, because you don't want to have a mixed match washing machine
Right,
and
in a
dryer.
brand new house, uh-huh.
So look, so I tell you a funny side story. So we talked about these new washing machines are like, okay, they got this eco dry. And so I'm
Uh-huh.
sitting on a sofa and I'm the worst. If you get me something new,
You said a mouthful. I think that, you're talking about smelling the roses. I feel like smelling the roses can come in many different factors. It could be treating yourself to something that you did not treat yourself to before. Maybe it
it's something that you might have thought was frivolous before, like a
mhm,
massage every 2 weeks. That may have seemed like, oh, I don't need that. But
right.
the stress, you are not aware of the amount of stress that you are under. Like
Mhm,
I did my Fitbit and I looked at it and I don't sleep. I like,
mhm.
because I wear Fitbit all the time now, and 5 hours, 5.5 hours, and I thought we were the same on that. And you told me, said, no, ma'am, I get my 8 hours, and I was like, what? What do you
Mhm.
mean? And so I only sleep, no matter what time I go to sleep, I'm going to only sleep about 5 hours. And I thought, well, And so we were talking about having to retrain myself. So that's what a massage, going and trying to get the relaxation and get the stress off. That's why my walking, I'm doing more walking, more exercise. That, was a lot to have to do a couple of exercising practices a day, but that took so much stress. I was so zen.
Well,
Did
what
you?
she's talking about, y'all, is she did 75 hard because you didn't tell everybody that's what you did, and so
Well,
75.
yeah, I told him when I finished. I didn't feel like I wasn't gonna brag. I wasn't gonna humble brag.
She
I
was
was
doing her
just talking about
75 hard, and, but I think to your point, when you do something that has you focused so much on your well-being, it allows you to kind of weed through, the muck through what you have to go through as a business owner, and, it doesn't matter what that looks like for you as far as stress release. I think that some people like to cook, some people like to
I
trip, some
love to
people like to
cook.
swim, some people like to smoke a cigar after the hard day.
Whatever it is that
Yeah.
you like to do, you need to factor that in. It is not a luxury. It
Mhm.
is what keeps you going, and it's a
100%.
necessary because if not, you will because I cut off. I said earlier that I cut it off at 5:30 now because I'm a workaholic. And so I had a rule that I could work as long as I wanted to, but I could never bring my laptop home.
Mhm, mhm.
Whereas now I can bring it home and I probably ain't gonna open it.
It probably right, but that's a training. You have to train your body and train your mind to understanding when or there's this great guy, his name is Ed Milet. Ed Milet has this thing where he gets 3 days to every 24 hours,
Oh,
and
you talked about that.
oh my
I'm
goodness.
like, what the
He's
world?
like, let me tell you, monumental for me. I've not read his book. I don't follow him like that. But to the point where he does 6 to 12, 12 to 6, and 6 to 12, and those are 3 different days. He has 21 days in a week. He says he outworks everybody in his life and everyone that he knows that does work. It revolutionized my way of thinking because you got to remember, Michelle, all of my things are everything that I do is in the future. Nothing is happening in the moment.
Right, right,
All my work is usually planning for something that's going to happen months and months down the road. So it's easy to not cut it off. It really
right.
is. So that 3 days and 24 hours, what it did was it said that when at that second day that I have, I'm like from 12 to 6, I'm like, shucks, okay, this I'm tricking off. I might go to the grocery store, go eat something, get my penne and curry from the True Kitchen. I might go to Ross and TJ Maxx and just look around. I may go buy a watermelon, and cut it up and get everything ready, or spend some time with the kid, whatever that is. And then that evening, I might have to work again. So that's my third day. Then I'll work. And it feels good to have that kind of time and relaxation. That's what's been working for me now. Me and Mr. Ed Milet, we friends now because I love that concept.
Well, I think that's interesting because I don't know if I guess I feel like that because I usually wake up probably about 4 to
Mhm.
4:30 in the morning. So I have what I would call the first day. 4:30 to 8:30 is my first
Mhm.
day because
Yep.
what I do during that time is usually my cooking, my exercise, my reading, my
Prep. Mhm.
meditation, whatever I'm going to do. That's the first part. Then I go to the office and then I'm going to do some working at the office. And then after that, then I come on the evening. Then it's like three. That feels
It
like
is.
3 different days because I'm doing such different things in that. Because when I
Correct.
go to the office, I may have 4 or 5. Like today, I have 2 or 3 meetings, and I've gone to meetings and done this and done that, and it's been like, whoa, okay.
Mhm.
So that's interesting. I'd like to get what's his name again?
His name is Ed Milet, and I think that he is the bee's knees, and I
Okay,
follow
I'm
him.
gonna download his because I don't know if I'm gonna look. So a part of the 75 hard, you had to read 10 pages of a book a day,
Right.
and for 75 days, I was diligent on it, and so now I've been having to try to do it, and it's hard. I said, oh, and I will skip that, and I said to myself, I'm very shocked at the things that I skip now, as opposed to what I like. I will do the walk, I'll do the workout, I'll drink the water,
Mhm.
and I'll do the diet but could you imagine reading the 10 pages of the book? That's the thing that I
Mhm.
skip.
Mhm.
Taking the picture
So
of my
his book,
body.
I wanna tell you what the books are: Max Out Your Life and then The Power of One More. And so those are the 2 books that he has in there, and I just think that I haven't read his books yet. I just follow him because I loved when that concept rang with me, and I was like, "Huh." And I
Not enough for her to read his book, but just for her to start doing it.
listen, because at the end of the day, it was powerful enough that I took that concept and understood, like, I think that will work for me because of the magnitude, and it seems like the weight, like, it seems like the weight, and you always fall it, and I want to be able to stand up and be confident in how I divide my time and conquer. So, to your point, best friend, I got my wood floors now, so I'm super happy. And so
Okay, just if that's what makes you happy. And I think the whole gist that I really the show that sparked my thought, because we are gonna go a whole nother direction, talk
we
about something
were.
totally different. But when you said what you said, it sparked me to know, you know, as an entrepreneur, make sure you take time to do the little things for yourself that make you feel good so that this is all worthwhile.
Sure,
Because if not, what are you doing it for?
sure.
Legacy and leaving it to some kids who don't care nothing about it.
Well, it should ring true to you that you did not replace one job for another, that you replaced it
Exactly.
with some type of extra. That's the reason why I think entrepreneurship is powerful, is because you're not replacing a job. What you've replaced is a way of living and a way of life. And so I
Right,
think
and what
about
I do
that.
with my time, what I trade my time for.
Sure,
That's what you do.
sure.
Love you, best friend.
I know what's not to love.